Imagine discovering that your memory, what you take for granted, may be lying to you. And it's not just you. Millions of people around the world remember the same things, but those things never happened. This is the Mandela Effect, perhaps the greatest proof that reality is much more fragile than we imagine. The phenomenon gained its name in 2009, when researcher Fiona Broome realized that many people, like her, remembered that Nelson Mandela had died in the 1980s inside prison. For these people, it wasn't just a vague impression. They remembered newspapers, TV broadcasts, even the funeral. But the reality is that Nelson Mandela was released from prison in 1990 and died only in 2013. So the disturbing question arises: if so many people have the same memory, but that memory is false, what does this say about the human mind? And worse, what does this say about reality itself? Do you remember the famous Star Wars character saying, "Luke, I am your father"? Well, that line was never actually said in the film. The actual line is, "No, I am your father." Yet millions swear up and down they heard the wrong version. Another example, the peanut butter brand Jif or Jiffy. Many swear it was Jiffy, but it was always just Jif. How do you explain this? What makes the Mandela Effect so disturbing is that it's not about individual mistakes. It's not just you getting confused. Millions of people across different countries, cultures, and eras share the same mistaken memory. It's as if there were an alternate version of history that everyone accessed, but which never officially existed. Psychologists explain the phenomenon as collective false memories. Our brains fill in gaps, reconstruct memories, and sometimes create plausible narratives that never happened. In Mandela's case, for example, many may have mixed up images of his arrest with news of other activists killed around the same time. The human mind is vulnerable to social suggestion. When someone confidently claims to remember something, others can absorb that narrative and incorporate it into their own memories. It's like a mental virus, a memory that spreads even when it doesn't exist. Do you remember Monopoly Man, the mascot from the game Monopoly? Many swear he wears a monocle, but no, he never did. And yet, millions of people would bet money that they saw this detail. Another famous example, the Kit Kat brand. Many are absolutely certain there was a hyphen in the name, Kit Kat. But there wasn't. It was always just Kit Kat. If it were just one or two memories, we could blame it on forgetfulness. But when the examples pile up, songs, phrases, logos, even character names, we begin to wonder, is it just a collective error? Or are we facing something bigger? Some believe the Mandela Effect is proof that alternate realities exist, that at some point in history, different timelines intersected, and our memories came from a reality that is no longer ours. Could this be quantum physics mixed with psychology? This theory is reminiscent of science fiction concepts like the multiverse, divergent timelines, and mirror universes. But the disturbing detail is that in this case, people experience it as real. It's not imagination, it's memory. In the popular children's series Pokémon, many remember Pikachu with a black tail tip. In fact, Pikachu always had a completely yellow tail with only a brown base. But even today, fans get drawings and tattoos with the incorrect version. And who hasn't heard the line from the Disney classic, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, is there anyone fairer than I?" Well, that line doesn't appear in the film Snow White. The real one is, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, is there anyone fairer than I?" A small detail, but one that millions remember differently. Research shows that our memory isn't a perfect recorder. It works like a reconstruction. Every time we remember something, we recreate the scene in our minds, and small distortions accumulate. The result, a memory that seems real, but could be completely fabricated. Another factor is cultural repetition. When memes, jokes, or incorrect statements are repeated many times, they end up becoming stronger than the original. This is why we often remember the incorrect version as if it were the absolute truth. But of course, there are those who don't accept this psychological explanation. Some believe that altered memories are the result of secret experiments, manipulations of the collective mind, or even glitches in the simulation we live in. And if we're inside a simulation like in the Matrix, is the Mandela Effect just a glitch in the system? Do you remember the cartoon Looney Tunes? Many swear it was called Looney Tunes. After all, tunes makes more sense for cartoons. But no, it was always tunes. And the line from the famous Star Trek series, "Beam me up, Scotty." This phrase, repeated for decades, never appeared in a single episode, and yet it's etched in the collective mind as part of pop culture. The Mandela Effect reminds us of something disturbing. We can't completely trust our memories. What we perceive as real may be just a figment of our minds, or an external interference we'll never understand. This phenomenon causes fascination, but also fear. Because if our memories can be so fragile, who can guarantee that our identity, our personal history, isn't also built on illusions? The Mandela Effect may just be a trick of the mind, or a clue that reality is far more complex than we can imagine. And perhaps deep down, we'll never know if our memories are truly ours, or just fragments of a lost reality. Did you enjoy the content? Like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more mind-boggling insights where we reveal what many prefer to ignore.